Good evening, cult members. Welcome to the Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And this will be take two. This is our non-spoiler review of First Man, the story of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins going to the moon.
Yes.
Or as my wife would say, why Neil Armstrong went to the moon.
Yeah, it was why Neil Armstrong went to the moon. The last 20 minutes were them going to the moon. But
the actual going to the moon. We just got home and we're still trying to process like what we're thinking about the movie and stuff. I want to start with the performances of the actors, and then we'll get into some of the cinematography and stuff like that. I really liked Ryan Gosling's performance.
yes.
Not a whole lot of dialogue to him and stuff like that, which Neil plays Neil's a very introspective engineer kind of person.
Right. And that's how I kind of, like, afterwards, we were kind of talking about this, that Buzz was we went to the moon, I'm an astronaut, and Neil was kind of like, and my wife and I and my kids are going to go over here and live the rest of our lives.
Yeah. I was comparing this performance to Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born, and right now I give Bradley Cooper's performance maybe a little bit of a head start in the conversation for the Oscars. We don't care about the Golden Globes, but his performance is so, like, give him a freaking statue already. Jesus,
Yeah.
He's been really good in everything we've seen.
Well, and Bradley Cooper, like we were saying, Bradley Cooper acted as a different person, and Ryan Gosling, his acting was more, I don't know, on his face.
Yeah.
Less dialogue, more, just kind of his reactions and his little smirks. And
Claire Foy, who plays Janet Armstrong, I feel that she was more of an outstanding performance than what Ryan was. Because her character having to be the astronaut's wife and having to be the one who stays at home and has to keep everybody kind of even keeled, but also they were talking about it on Collider Live about having a little bit of issue with her performance because it's a little she gets a little frantic and stuff at times.
Yeah.
But I thought she was amazing.
Yeah. Well, and the wife is the one that has to stay at home, and she has to deal with the media in her front yard, when she tries to leave, and people in the living room taking pictures and watching every little thing so I could understand why you would get a little frazzled, especially when your husband was like kind of, I don't know, emotionally checked out.
I don't know if he was emotionally checked out or if he just wasn't an emotional person. I mean, I need to learn more about Neil himself, but from what I know of him, he was never really a super emotional. He was always very even-keeled, which was part of the reason why they picked him to be the captain of the crew.
Yeah,
is because he did keep an even keel and was
there
able
was a
to solve
couple
stuff.
of instances of flights or whatever where he survived because he didn't lose his poop.
Cool. The rest of the cast is amazing. Jason Clarke is really good. Kyle Chandler is really good. The guy who plays Michael Collins, his name is Lucas Haas. He's kind of overshadowed because he's always, the character of Michael Collins has always kind of been overshadowed because
everybody knows Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin
because he was the guy who was stuck in the capsule, like flying around going, I want to be down there with the rest of the cool kids. But Lucas Haas was really good. He was able to keep it everything. But Corey Stoll as Buzz was just so cool. I just thought it was awesome how they did that. I want to talk about some of the cinematography. The last time I brought this up, my computer died. The way it's shot is, we both kind of got to the same conclusion, but from a little bit different direction. The stuff with the family that happens at home and the interaction with the Neil and Janet and the kids and all that stuff is all shaky cam, handheld, very close, kind of
home video
kind of
especially
shot.
60s home video.
Right. And then the NASA stuff is kind of, it's more of dolly kind of feel to it. Very steady cam, bigger shots and stuff like that. But then when they get on the moon, it's all in like super high def, uber digital, see from miles.
Yeah.
And I thought that I don't know if it was on purpose. I'm going to say it was on purpose.
Probably.
But it definitely gave scope and scale to each of the different parts of the story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just made it feel like, like you said, the kind of home video 50s, 60s family and the clothes and all of that. And then, NASA felt like kind of what you expected from Apollo 13 and stuff. And then, and then you expect the moon to be grand and crisp and clean and sharp.
They used a lot of news footage. They used a lot of the footage of them, the booster separations and the landing. They used all that stuff. They used the audio of when they first get out of the capsule before they step on all that stuff. Using that stuff was really good.
Right.
I really loved that.
Right. And then they used and we forgot to look it up. It's the moon song, the moon something. It's a song, a piece, and they use, and I don't remember what the name of the instrument. It's not really an instrument. I don't know. It's like a pole.
Yeah, it's like electrical charge.
And you go like this, and it goes and like the song has got that, and they played that a lot through, and you kind of got the idea that maybe that was his and his wife's.
Yes, so
song.
I actually have heard that specific song that they used was Neil and Janet's real song that they danced at their wedding with, and that's when they dance
long before he ever thought he was going to the moon.
Right. And so that was kind of a nice little touch of adding certain details of Neil's life and adding them into the story.
Yeah.
There's some, we're not going to spoil it, but spoilers, they make it to the moon and back. But there's stuff that happens, the death of his daughter is a driving force throughout the story. And there's some stuff that happens towards the end that I'm questioning if I'm okay with it or if I'm struggling with it. And I think upon more viewings or thinking about it, it's going to change how I feel about all that.
All right.
The other thing I wanted to talk about really quick was the use and the lack of use of sound.
Yeah.
Now we are going to talk about a scene because you can't talk about the scene without it. It's not like it's not like we don't know what happened here. We know that they all went up there.
They landed on the moon.
The use of the sound and the rattling and the creaking of Apollo 11 when it's taking off.
Nope.
We both have decided that we're very happy on terra firma and terra firma, and we're not going anywhere. But the loudness, we went and saw it in a Dolby Theater, super loud and very bright, and then it was very dark. So when the capsule would spin away from the light and whatever, but then there's a scene. It's very loud. They're letting the capsule on the moon. They get down. It's still, there's still creaking and noises being made and whatever. And they open the door, and all the sound sucks out the door.
Yeah.
And it's silent for a good 30 to 40 seconds.
It was silent.
Yeah.
Too. It was like nobody's saying anything.
No, I don't think anybody's breathing in the theater. It was very reminiscent of what they did in Last Jedi, where they took the sound away instead of adding sound in.
When they shoot through the cruiser.
Yeah. So it was that same, and they used that kind of same thing twice, and I really appreciate the lack of sound and the lack of light. Both of those were reoccurring themes when they were in space. And I've heard astronauts talk about the lack of sound in space because there's no atmosphere for vibration. And the other thing too that they've talked about is if you're not facing the sun or the earth and you're facing out into space, there's no light.
It's just black.
So they did a really good job of using that, and also using the scale of the window, and always like there's a bunch of like little things we were talking about on the way home that I thought was a nice touch of realism, him putting the mirror up so he can watch the earth go away and stuff like that. So
it was like velcroed on too, which NASA invented Velcro, by the way.
Right.
It was velcroed on, so it would, and then it came off anyway. And let's talk about, they went to the moon multiple times. They had no, like, everything was analog. It was dials and no digital readouts and toggle. And they talked about that too. The one guy asked if all the switches were going to be in the same place, and I kept thinking, how do there's a huge panel full of toggle switches in front of you. How do you remember? And these dials that, like, we have digital readout that is super precise, and then they've just got these, it's like an old stereo dial or whatever, and it's somewhere between 375 and 350.
Yeah, and even Buzz said that. It's like, it's about 1602.
Yeah, because they don't, and all the alarms.
So I was going to bring this up before we did the score. The alarm 1202.
Yeah.
And Buzz goes, "What's alarm 1202?" And there's a pause, and Neil goes, I don't know. And so they called to Houston. Houston, we're getting alarm 1202. Hold, please. Like, what?
We're landing.
We're landing on the moon. What's 1202? Oh, you can hit the master switch. It's okay. So
yeah,
you hit
they
the
were
master
like
button.
1202 check.
And
then they got more, and so I think
1201.
I think they were abort opportunities. Like, okay, here's this alarm. You're good. Okay, hit that, turn that off, and then the next one. Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
So they were like abort opportunities, but all that buzzing
it would make me crazy. And you're trying to concentrate and do math in your head and stuff. So overall, I think we both really liked this one. I probably don't like this one as much as I liked Stars Born, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm waffling between a 3.5 and a 3.75, and I think that waffle is what they do at the end. If it would be higher.
I'm giving it a 4. So
are you?
Pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a 3.5 for now, subject to change. If I find out how they handle the end, is actually we think I want to hear.
You're never gonna find out.
I actually want to hear from the director, Damien Chazelle. Why he made that decision.
But he didn't. It was the guy that wrote the screenplay.
Right, but he. It's a tangent, but there's grandeur of the moon, and then there's something going on, and it makes sense in the story. I just want to see cool moon shit. Is really what it comes down to. So. I'm a weirdo when it comes to that stuff. So that is our thoughts on First Man, starring Ryan Gosling and Claire Foy. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Do you like the way it was shot? Do you like the performances? Although the music was pretty good too. And let us know. Leave us a comment. You've been here this long. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. Get a hold of us on our social media network, Pop Culture Cult on Facebook, PopCultureCult1 on Instagram, Pop_Cult1 on Twitter. We're on the Stardust app. Download it for free. React to everything you're watching. Just follow us first. Until the next time, good night now.